Right, I'm going to call this City Council meeting to order. My name is Jean Young, and I'm actually the council president, but I'm sitting in for the mayor this evening. Mayor Zach Burwing couldn't be here, so I'll be running the meeting. So item number 1 is calling the meeting to order, and item 2 is roll call. So if everyone is checked in, and it looks like they are, great. So item 3 is Pledge of Allegiance and silent prayer in lieu of invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Item 4 is reading of the minutes of the September 13th and September 17th meetings. Do we need those read, or do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve with one stated correction already given to the clerk.
And that would be?
I'm sorry, there was, let me find it fast here. Yeah, it was off of the Planning Commission report. There was moved and seconded to accept the report. Motion carried 7 ayes, and it should read 1 nay, with Rayom voting in the negative on that report.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second? Oh. Voice is fine. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Oops, sorry, apologize. Habit, I won't be voting this evening. Item 5 is explanation of visitor speaking procedure. So I see there's a number of individuals in the room this evening. Welcome, we're glad you're here. If somebody wishes to speak on any agenda item, please raise your hand, be recognized by a council member, and then we'll bring you forward to speak. So item 6 is one of those things that we really enjoy doing. It's a presentation of a life-saving award, and I'm going to turn that item over to Chief Kurt Hoyer.
Thank you very much. If I could have Dennis, Dave, and Officers Jordan Jaski and Drew Borkart come forward, please.
Kurt, did you want to use my mic?
If you want, I can hold this for you, Danny, if you want to. There you go. Yeah, thank you. Just hold that here.
On Thursday, July 11, 2013, our dad, Dave Gage, was driving down Gaynor Avenue. He had a severe heart attack. Somehow, he stopped his van in the middle of the street, and the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department came to his rescue. When they found him, he was slumped over the wheel, was not breathing, and did not have a pulse. The Wisconsin Rapids Police Department got him out of his locked vehicle and began CPR. The Wisconsin Rapids firefighter paramedics were called in between the Rapids Police Department and firefighter paramedics using their knowledge, skills, and professionalism. They brought our dad back to life. He was sent by ambulance to Marshfield Hospital, accompanied by the paramedics who kept him alive during the trip. Thursday and Friday were 2 very terrible days for our family. On Saturday, he was able to open his eyes and give us a thumbs up. After 17 days in the hospital, a quadruple bypass, a pacemaker later, we were able to bring our dad home with us. After a lot of rehab, he has a lot of rehab ahead of us, but eventually he should be able to do almost everything he was able to do before the heart attack. The Wisconsin Rapids police officers, Jordan Jayeski and Drew Borkert, the Wisconsin Rapids firefighter paramedics, Justin Pluce, Jason Joling, Scott Young, Todd Eckes, and Doug Van Berkel Sr. We cannot thank you enough for what you did for our dad. You may say you were just doing your job, but you did it good enough to save our dad's life. Thank you from our entire family.
was a wonderful presentation, and I know that we all have a job to do, and it's not often that we are able to get such a sincere thank you for the job we do every day in and out, so wonderful. All right, item 7 then is standing council committee reports, the first one being finance and property, and I've asked the secretary, Andrew Kirkpatrick, to read the minutes.
Thank you very much. Finance and Property Committee met at 5 p.m. Monday, September 30th, 2013, in the first floor conference room at City Hall. All members were present. Also attending, Dave Laspa, Dave Farnborough, Dave Batten, Krista Kuhn. Item number 1, meeting was called to order. Item number 2, there were no special beer license applications. Item number 3, there were no Class A or Class B liquor and/or beer license applications. Item number 4 was a special events application filed by Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce for the annual Rekindle the Spirit Parade and Lighting Ceremony, November 27th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., including the closing of Grand Avenue from the Rapids Mall to 4th Street and 2nd Street between Oak Street and East Grand Avenue for the parade route. It was moved and seconded to approve that application, and it carried. Item number 5, approval of a contribution agreement with the Wisconsin Rapids School District for the funding of the police school liaison officer position at Lincoln High. It was moved and seconded to approve that agreement, and that motion carried. That item is attached as attachment number 1. Item number 6, a request to obtain bids for the West Side Assessor's Plat number 26 for the area bounded by the west right-of-way of 10th Avenue North to the north right-of-way of High Street to the east right-of-way of 8th Avenue North to the south right-of-way of Fremont Street. It was moved and seconded to approve that request, and that motion carried. Item number 7 was consideration of recommendation of statewide services to deny a claim from Paula Tesh for a water damage to the basement of her residence. It was moved and seconded to deny the claim, and that motion carried. I might also make mention that's standard procedure to deny the claim to reduce the statute of limitations. They still have the option to go after the city. Item number 8, beverage operator license applications. Those individuals are listed. It was moved and seconded to approve licenses for the applications or the applicants who are therefore listed below. Item B, it was moved and seconded to renew licenses for the applicants which are also listed below, with one applicant recommending approval once certain obligations have been fulfilled. Item C, applicants recommended deny by the police department. It was moved and seconded to deny specific applications for individuals, with the city clerk instructed to notify those applicants of the appeals process. Item 9, review and consider approval of the estimated 2014 mass transit operation and capital grant application. It was moved and seconded to approve the application, and that motion carried. Item 10, in open session, in open session, a motion was made and seconded to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, parent 1, parent E, and that motion carried. B, in closed session, the committee evaluated requests for proposals for the shared ride taxi services for the city of Wisconsin Rapids beginning 2014. Item C, the committee returned to open session and continued discussion regarding those proposals and may report on the results of the evaluation process. It was moved and seconded to recommend Wheels of Independence based upon the evaluation process pending Wisconsin DOT approval, and that motion carried. See attachment number 2 for those recommendations. Item 11, it was moved and seconded to adjourn. That motion carried. We had stood adjourned at 6:45 p.m. I also have 2 more reports. Just get to my next page. The next report, Finance and Property met at 5 p.m. Monday, October 7th, 2013, in the first floor conference room at City Hall. All members were present. Also attending, Mayor Zach Vruwink, Tom Riom, and Tim DeSorcy. Item 1, meeting was called to order. Item number 2, the 2014 executive budget. The committee discussed the proposed budget. No action was taken. Item number 3 was bills. No bills were presented. Item number 4, it was moved and seconded, carried to adjourn. The meeting adjourned at 5:57 p.m., and it was a note on here as well the committee discussed potential meeting dates for the 2014 executive budget. Those potential dates were October 10th, October 14th, October 21st, October 23rd, and October 30th, with a public hearing set for November 19th at the council meeting. The committee does hold the option to meet at all of those or potentially none of those proposed meeting nights. My third and final report, Finance and Property met at 5 p.m. Thursday, October 10th, 2013, in the first floor conference room at City Hall. All members were present except for Alderperson Kirkpatrick. Also attending, Mayor Vruwink and Tim DeSorcy. Item number 1, the meeting was called to order. Item number 2 was the 2014 executive budget. The committee discussed the proposed budget. No action was taken. Item number 3 was bills. It was moved and seconded to approve the payment of vouchers numbering 52016 through 52375, as well as vouchers numbering 52376 through 52726, and that motion carried. It was moved and seconded to adjourn. The meeting adjourned at 6:30 p.m. Andrew Kirkpatrick, Secretary, I would move for approval of all 3 reports.
Okay, so discussion? All right, any discussion? We have a motion and a second. All right,
Just on number 5, on report number 1, the agreement with the Wisconsin Rapids School, that's just a continuation of what we've had, no change in the funding or anything?
correct. In fact, we didn't even have a rep from the police department in attendance.
Okay,
It's just,
because I was just wondering.
is that correct, Beth, as far as you know? I see a lot of head nodding, so.
Okay, because the letter of agreement about the hours and everything and the articles and the contract. are in
Yep.
there, so.
Chief, we're just asking a
I'm-
question about the school liaison position. There were no changes as far as the contract, as far as
No,
expectations?
No, none.
Okay,
Same, status quo.
great. I had a couple comments. I just, again, wanted to publicly thank Treasurer Dave Batten as far as the Share Ride program went. Very paper-heavy this year to get through the contract, and you had everything very well organized for us, and we were able to literally plow through that in an evening. It was a lot of work, but we were able to do that because you had everything very well organized. Also, regarding the budget, I hope all the alderpersons have looked at the budget. The mayor and finance director Tim DeSorcy put a different spin on it this time around. We have activity budgeting, which I found to be very, very helpful. And even as I had questions, if I looked at Tim's notes or the mayor's notes, they were pretty much answered in the footnotes to each one of the department budgets. So it really was, for our committee, has been an easy budget to really digest and get through. So I just had those couple comments. All right, Andrew?
Thank you. You actually hit a lot of the points I was going to make mention of regarding the budget. The one other thing I would mention is going forward, we do have a few other meetings that we're going to make, at least potentially make at the time being, for finance regarding the budget to review different departments, line items, things of that nature. And I would seriously encourage individuals in the community to come down, pick up a copy of it, go on the website, get a copy of it if it's available online, Shane, or it's up, okay, or it's going to be up. But by all means, it's a budget for, designed for the utility of the citizens of the community, and therefore they should certainly read it. And if they would like to come down and be a part of the process, watch what takes place, and I'm not going to put words in my chairman's mouth, but I would feel confident that if there was ever a question that came from a citizen sitting in the room, that those questions would certainly be addressed at that time. So by all means, stated meeting dates in the future, please come down and see how your money will be spent in the future.
All right, seeing no other discussion, we have a motion and a second. I'd call for the vote.
Motion carried, 6 ayes and 0 nays.
All right, item B is the Public Works Committee report. Tom?
Thanks, Gene. The Public Works Committee met at 5:30 PM on Tuesday, October 1st, 2013, in the council chambers in City Hall. All members were present. Also attending were Dave Laspa, Joe Eichstead, and Nick Dumbs. A list of others present is on file in the clerk's office. Item 1 was to call the meeting to order. Item 2 was a request from Tracy Arnold from the Wood County Land Conservation Department, LCD, to have a group of scouts that would like to do some stormwater stenciling for their conservation badge around the First English Lutheran Church where they meet. Tracy Arnold from the Wood County LCD was present for this item. They're requesting to stencil 41 catch basins. There was a motion and a second to allow the stenciling of the catch basins, and the motion carried. Item 3, a request from Roger Mansky, 4137 George Road, representing the Vesper Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club, request to reroute their number 26 snowmobile trail from the north side of State Highway 73 to 29th Avenue North to the 29th Avenue North right-of-way from Industrial Street to Engle Road, then on Engle Road right-of-way to the Cranberry Ditch. No one was present for the item. There was a motion and a second to approve the request, provided that the property owners adjacent to the rerouted trail are in agreement with the trail. That motion carried. Item 4 is a request from Al Phillips, 1200 Francis Street, Stevens Point, to get a waiver on his concrete driveway at 1110 12th Street North for being constructed not according to city specifications. Al Phillips was present for this item. Mr. Phillips offered to reconstruct the driveway when sidewalk is installed on the street. There's a motion and a second to approve the waiver with the condition that the driveway would have to be replaced when sidewalk is installed on the street. The motion carried. Item 5, a request from Dave Ramsden of Ramsden Construction, 6640 State Highway 13 South, for a variance for a driveway constructed 39 feet wide at 4222 14th Place South, and to change the maximum driveway widths allowed for duplexes from 36 to 40 feet. Dave was present for this item. There was a motion and a second to approve the variance of the driveway width to 39 feet. Motion carried. Item 6 was to hold a public hearing for the installation of municipal improvements, which shall include for sanitary sewer, water main, sanitary and water leads, curb and gutter, sidewalk, concrete driveway approaches, and permanent street surfacing on A alley between Mead Street and 4th Street South, Elm Street, and Sherman Street. No one spoke against the project. No one spoke in favor of the project. There was a motion and a second to recommend approval of the project, including the final resolution. And that motion carried, and the final resolution is attached with the minutes. The next one was Apple Street between 8th Street South and 12th Street South. Speaking against the project were Tim Blokis, 510 11th Street South, Ralph Thomas, 820 Apple Street, John Turbin, 440 11th Street South, Dick Redensel, Borzinski Motor Company, 411 8th Street South. No one spoke in favor of the project. There was a motion and a second to recommend approval of the project, including the final resolution, and the motion carried. That final resolution is attached with the minutes. Next one was Chestnut Street between 8th Street South and 16th Street South. Speaking against the project were Jim Natwick, 920 Chestnut Street, John Natwick, 1500 Pepper Avenue, number 239, owner of 741 Chestnut Street, Teresa Belt, 4421, Whippoorwill owner of 1310 Chestnut Street, Marjorie Wetstein, 1541 Chestnut Street, and Barb Miller, 940 Chestnut Street. No one spoke in favor of the project. There was a motion, a second, to recommend approval of the project, including the final resolution with, motion, a second by Holcamp, seconded by Ray Ohm, to recommend approval of the project, including the final resolution, with Alderperson Kellogg voting in the negative. That motion carried. And that one, the final resolution is attached. And item 7 then. Review a request from the Village of Buren to obtain approval from the City of Wisconsin Rapids to install a 12-inch gravity flow sewer in the 48th Street right-of-way from the Canadian National Railroad south to Commerce Drive. Larry Koopman of Lampert Lee and Associates representing the Village of Buren was present for this item. The committee reviewed the request. Item 8 was to amend the school zones due to signing plan updates at the following locations. A, Mead Street from 100 feet west of Hill Street to, and that would go to 100 feet east of Witter Street. B, Chestnut Street from 200 feet west of Hill Street to 300 feet west of Lincoln Street at B. C, 14th Avenue South from 300 feet north of Alton Street to, and that would be 700 feet south of Alton Street. D, 13th Avenue South from 300 feet north of Alton Street to, and the new would be 700 feet south of Alton Street. E, 17th Avenue South from 400 feet north of Alton Street to 200 feet south of Essex Street would be the new at the end there. There was a motion and a second to approve amending the school zones. The motion carried, and that ordinance is attached with the minutes. 9 is new school zones and crossing due to signing plan updates at the following locations. A, Lincoln Street between 100 feet south of Witter Street to 100 feet north of Birch Street. There was a motion and a second to approve the new school zone. The motion carried. That ordinance is attached also. Item 10, remove school zones and crossings due to signing plan updates at the following location. A, Apple Street from 6th Street South to 100 feet west of 8th Street South. B, Chase Street from 100 feet west of 17th Avenue to 16th Avenue. C, Hale Street from 200 feet west of 17th Avenue South to 17th Avenue South. There was a motion and a second to approve removing the school zones. The motion carried, and you can see the attached ordinance also. Item 11, review and consider recommending approval of a state municipal agreement for a highway safety improvement program project to relocate the left turn lanes at 8th Street and East Grand Avenue and change the intersection into a traffic-actuated traffic signal system. The estimated cost of the project is $495,924, with a 10% local share in the amount of $49,592. There was a motion and a second to recommend approval of the state municipal agreement for a highway safety improvement program project at 8th Street and East Grand Avenue. That motion carried. Item 12, review and consider recommending approval of a state municipal agreement for a highway safety improvement program project to change the left-through lane on 8th Street South to an exclusive left turn lane on 8th Street and Chestnut Street, to change the intersection into traffic-actuated signal system. The estimated cost of the project is $131,686 with a local 10% share in the amount of $13,169. Motion and a second to recommend approval of a state municipal agreement for a highway safety improvement program project at 8th Street and Chestnut Street. The motion carried. Item 13 was to amend the through streets due to signing plan updates at the following locations. Alton Street at its intersection with 16th Avenue South, 15th Avenue South, and 13th Avenue South. There was motion and second to approve amending the through streets. The motion carried, and that ordinance is in the minutes. 14, to review the proposed 2013 Public Works project schedule. That was done. 15, review the referral list. That was done, and items 4, 8, 9A, 11, and 12 of 2013 could be removed. Item 16 was to adjourn. There was a motion and a second to adjourn. Motion carried. The meeting adjourned at 8:18 p.m. And with that, Your Honor, I move for adoption of the report.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Bob, you had a question?
Just a question on 11 and 12, Dave. So will that reconstruct the intersection on 8th and East Grand, or?
Yes, that's why it's so expensive, because the left turn lanes are offset, and it'll end up reconstructing the whole intersection. We'll try to include that with our proposal to reconstruct East Grand between 3rd and 8th Street.
Okay, so you have no timeline yet for,
Well, because it's federal funding, it's probably about 4 or 5 years in the future.
okay. And then 12, which, so both north and south will be left turn only?
Right, that's what the we had a number of meetings, and that's what was approved by the council, I think, last January when or maybe even a year before. It would just be at the intersection, the left lane would be left only.
Right, yeah, we wanted to reconstruct the whole street at one point, yeah.
Yeah, this is just paint for left turns
Yep.
at Chestnut.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Andrew?
Thank you. Just one question regarding, let's see here. It's the project for Chestnut Street between 8th Street South and 16th Street South. It's sticking in my mind that somewhere we had approached the county on footing part of the bill on this. Was that accurate, since this used to carry a county road, or does that sound like this has ever taken place? Or?
Well, I remember seeing an agreement where the city took over Chestnut Street from the county, I think in the 1940s. But what we do, seeing this had a county road, we didn't put it on the public hearing, but we have given a 25% reduction on the street surfacing if street is a county road or a state highway.
Okay, but I mean, at this point, the county is not, they're not going to pay partial on the cost of this because it once carried a road, or a county road.
No, not
Okay.
that I'm aware of.
And I don't know why, it just something, I thought I remembered we had talked about that at one time or something, but, okay, fair enough.
All right, Scott?
Oh, Andrew covered what I wanted to cover, because we did talk about at that meeting, because it was a county road, that there should be some consideration of the 25% because of the use of it, because of those county roads. So that took care of one of my comments, but I had another comment with regard to number 5, the request of widening the sidewalk or driveway to 29 feet. It seems like we have two motions within that same statement. And it's something I think we should consider about, well, we've had 36 feet in the books, but maybe we need to consider the other. So I don't know if those are broken out, or we recommend the residents here to have the variance, and then another time Public Works comes back with recommendation to change it, because it affects plowing. In many of these cases, they have it the width of a 2-car garage and so forth. So I don't know if we pass it the way it is, or do we break it into 2, or just accept one, and then the Public Works comes back with another recommendation. So that's a question I have.
I guess as it's written, the committee just addressed the variance and didn't address the changing of the ordinance. So I don't know if the committee wanted a referral to be made for that to be considered. Was that was that the intent, or is that your intent now maybe to refer?
Well, my
change in
intent
the
is,
ordinance?
yeah, to be able to referred, because I think it should be referred, but this came in our minutes that we had at the meeting, and it wasn't changed. And I think we should come back with the proposal of changing from 36 feet to 39 or 40 feet at a later time.
Okay, so you're just voting on the
So
the
just
variance and then
variance right now.
referring, right.
And then there'll be a referral back. Tom, are you good with that? As
Yeah.
far as referral back? to
Yeah,
committee?
that's fine. That was, came up in the discussion, I do
Great.
believe.
All right, I don't see any other discussion. Am I correct on that? No one else is pushing buttons? All right, we have a motion and a second. I'd call for the vote.
Motion carried, 6 ayes and 0 nays.
All right, excuse me. Item 7C then is the Human Resources Committee. Bob, that's you.
Human Resources Committee met at 5 PM on September 26, 2013, in the third floor conference room of City Hall. All members were present. Item 1 was called to order. The meeting was called to order at 5 PM. Item 2, consider a memorandum of understanding with the Wisconsin Rapids School District to allow city police officers to possess firearms, including concealed firearms, on school district property while not on duty. Motion was made and seconded to approve the attached memorandum of understanding and to allow the police chief to sign the memorandum of understanding on behalf of the city. It's attachment number 1, and the motion carried. Item number 3, consider a request to approve a direct deposit policy. The motion was made and seconded to approve the direct deposit policy, which is attachment number 2, and that motion carried. Item 4, motion was made and seconded to go into closed session. In closed session, the committee discussed bargaining strategy. Motion was made and seconded to return to open session, and no action was taken. Item 5, we adjourned. The motion was made and seconded to adjourn the meeting at 5:20 PM, and I move for approval of this report.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'm not seeing any. Seeing none, I'd call for, oh, Tom, did you? Okay, I'd call for the vote.
Motion carried, 6 ayes and 0 nays.
All right, that brings us to item 8, which is miscellaneous reports. A is the city treasurer's monthly reports for August and September. B, Citizen Advisory Committee held September 13th. C, the Wisconsin Rapids Fire Department monthly organization summary for September. D, Wisconsin Rapids Housing Authority, which was August 28th. E, Waterworks and Lighting Commission held September 11th. That's the regular meeting. F, Police and Fire Commission held September 11th. G, the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department report for September. H, McMillan Memorial Library Board of Trustees held August 21st and September 18th. I, Zoning Board of Appeals held October 8th. J, Wastewater Treatment Commission held October 2nd. K, the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department quarterly report for April, May, and June. And that's it. So what are your wishes?
Make a motion to approve and put them on file.
So we have a motion and a second. Andrew, could you push your doohickey? All right, Andrew, you had a comment?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to draw attention to, to the McMillan Library Board meeting of of August 21st. Under new business, there was a proposal that was taken up wherein the library was granted some money from an individual's estate in a fairly substantial amount of money. And with that amount of money, with that gift from this individual's estate, the Building and Grounds Finance Committee, or joint committees, made some decisions as to what to do with it. I just think it's a real testament to how good of a job that our library does as an institution, that individuals give gifts of this nature, to this library so that we can continue providing these excellent services. And I mean, you can go through every single, percentage increase and everything like that, and how many hours have been logged on computer uses just to see, how much this community values its library. And so, a big thanks to that, the individuals controlling that estate for that grant, and for those individuals who, did decide to make that donation on that estate, and also to these different subcommittees at the library for the continuing work that they do to ensure that, as they say here, consideration to include new boilers, elevator upgrades, a roof caulking project, new sprinkler systems, new security systems, and repairs to the building. I'm assuming, structural damage that has sustained over the years. They do an excellent job of maintaining the facility and maintaining, the integrity of the building and the services for future generations. So I wanted to bring attention to that. Thank you.
All right. Seeing no other discussion, again, we have a motion and a second. I would call for the vote.
Motion carried, 6 ayes and 0 nays.
Item 9 is items for new business for the November 19th council meeting. A public hearing on and a resolution for the vacation of a portion of Robinson Street. Item 10 is referral of communications to committees. Do we have any referrals from council at this time? Okay, thank you. We have the one from Scott to Public Works. Is there anything else? All right, my favorite one, number 11, motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
All right, all those in favor? Thank you very much.